After watching the keynote address for the online conference, a couple things come to mind. I really liked her metaphor for flexible education and kind of how we go about it differently in the East and the West. Her metaphor was that markets in the East reflect no set value for their products. It's more of a traditional bartering type system, and the metaphor was that education should kind of reflect that. It should be more flexible instead of an arbitrarily set standards or a price tag for these goods, is what she was comparing it to. And education does tend to be inflexible in the West as far as what students are expected to do, take the SATs, go to college, a big emphasis on grades. And I think that in terms of relating that idea to our class, we really do need to be a lot more flexible with our curriculum if we're going to be able to take advantage of a lot of the available technologies that can really help students learn. I think that traditional reliance on standards-based lecture and listen methods, it's not really conducive to using technology in the classroom. I think a lot of teachers are uncomfortable with going beyond that, and I gotta say from my own student teaching experience, I tried to use technology as best I could in the short time that I was planning and teaching a lesson, but the extent of that was just using Google Earth and a laptop and a projector to supplement my lecture material. So I can say from firsthand experience that finding ways to be more flexible with the curriculum is going to be really important if we're going to take advantage of a lot of the technologies available. Kind of also along those lines, when she was talking about this need for adaptability and flexibility in the classroom, also in terms of preparing students to be adaptable and flexible for the global world in which they will become a part. What came to my mind then was the current economic turmoil that we're going through right now. The need for a person to be competitive, it comes from being adaptable and flexible. It's not, people can't just rely on the same old things that they've been relying on in terms of getting, this type of job or that type of job. You have to be able to adapt to whatever's available, and that's going to be part of our job too. I think that we're really becoming teachers in an interesting time, because there hasn't been this much economic uncertainty since the Great Depression, essentially, and how we're going to move forward, how we as teachers are going to prepare students to move forward in this kind of economy, it has to be technology. That has to be the way to go. And so how we use it in the classroom, it's just basically going to be modeling the correct kind of behavior and the correct kind of mindset that students are going to need to have to survive in this new emerging world that they're finding themselves thrust into. There was a quote during the video that the world is getting smaller, flatter, and more cosmopolitan, and that's what we're preparing our students to be a part of. This smaller, flatter, more industrialized, more technologically advanced world, and that really is going to stem from our own whatever type of pedagogy we decide to use. Another thing that I got from the video was this need to create global citizens, to transcend one nation, to transcend this nationalistic furor that oftentimes can work backwards against any sort of progress that's going to help our students succeed in the world. If you're going to succeed in a global economy, it makes more sense to be a globally minded person as opposed to a person with one single mindset of our way is the best, so why should we change? That's obviously not going to work. So we need to prepare our students better to be a part of that. And there was a quote that struck me. I can't remember exactly what it was, but the gist of it was moving our students from simply tolerating other cultures and other ideas to being empathetic towards them and appreciative of them. And I think that's a really important idea right there. It's one thing to just tolerate other ideas and other cultures, but if you can truly look at these other cultures with a sense of empathy and appreciation, I think that that's going to essentially enable this global mindset where we can overcome these economic difficulties that are really hitting us hard right now. We'll find ways to get around it. So by preparing our students to succeed in the world of the future, this global world, we are actually going to be preparing ourselves for the educational world of the future. That was another quote from the video, and that really hit me good. Because it's not just us getting the students ready. It goes back to that adaptability and flexibility idea that we have to be able to adapt to whatever's happening in the world within our own teaching methods. So there's going to be new technologies emerging, essentially every day in one way or another. And the more that we evolve and adapt to use those technologies in our classroom to prepare our students to be a part of this global society, then, well, I mean, the more that we'll be preparing ourselves as educators, the more we'll be honing our own skills. And it's just, I feel like it's sort of a symbiotic relationship that both students and we as teachers will benefit from, and ultimately, idealistically, the rest of society will benefit from this as well. So that was what I got from the Keynote's address. I'm looking forward to watching the next few videos here, and I will report back soon.